Season's greetings and happy holidays. My name is Ben and welcome back to the bench for another episode of our 12 Sprues of Kit-mas holiday build series. Today, this is the end of the series, the final build, day number 12. We're going to go ahead and check it out, see what we have in store for us today. Let's grab that box and get started. Now, so far the kits have been amazing. I've been loving every single build we've got here. This is the very last one. So this will put a nice ending chapter onto season number 4. Let's go ahead and punch on through here, fish around. Okay, we've got that label. Let's go ahead and pull that on out. Last episode was a little bit on the tougher side, so let's hope this one is a little kinder on me. Let's go ahead and check it out. So fingers crossed we get a good one here. Just a couple kits left in the stash to choose from, so let's see what the girlfriend did. And it looks like we will be building, the 1/72nd scale Bolt & Paul Defiant Mark 1. It's an Airfix kit, thank goodness. All right, let's go ahead and grab that box here and check it out. Now I actually have a 1/48 scale version of this kit, and this is going to be a nice kind of preliminary build, so I kind of get a handle on what the Bolt & Paul Defiant is and what it takes to build it up. Let's go ahead and check out the parts. Very typical Airfix boxing. The parts look clean. There's some nice recessed panel lines. We've got some decent detailing. I don't know much about the fighter, but I do know it was an unusual design for sure. Very 1930s. We are given two different schemes we can use here. We have an all black night fighter version, and we have the standard dark earth and dark green day camo version. That's the one we'll probably be working on because that just looks better, I think, in my opinion, and probably easier to weather too. It's faster, I think. Otherwise, it's very decent looking instructions, very typical of Airfix. Now, if you're new to Airfix kits, remember that they always spec out their paints in Humbrol colors. So using my handy dandy chart here, we're going to find out what colors we need, write them down here in the instruction manual, and look through our paint and see what we have to choose from. Looks like we'll be doing a lot of internal work here on the cockpit, starting off with RAF Interior Green. I actually do have a Mission Models version of that color, so we'll probably just use that and hope for the best. Maybe shade it down a little bit because it's a bit minty. I don't think it's really that minty there in the actual aircraft, but you know what? It's all good. Let's go ahead and jump into our first time lapse. We've got a lot of basic assembly to do. We want to get going on the cockpit. I am going to paint up the pilots and throw them in because I think it'd be kind of fun. Also, I have an idea to go ahead and put this on a stand. So let's go ahead and get started, guys. Let's start day number 12. All right, everybody, so we are back, and as you can see, the Defiant is coming right along. We've got the aircraft basically assembled. We've got the pilot and the gunner painted up and installed there in the cockpit. We also have some Stannarus gray primer over the entire aircraft, and we've come in with some pre-shade of native black. I don't necessarily love that Stannarus primer. I think next year we're going to go ahead and try to switch it out and try something different, but for right now, that's all we have. We're just going to push on. I also went ahead and used some Tamiya Sky for the undersurface of the aircraft. I love Tamiya paint, and that worked out perfectly, so now we're going to start in with some masking. We're going to mask off the demarcation line between the camo and the undersurface, and then we're going to start in on the camo. Now, the camouflage colors are going to be a flat earth and a dark green, both by Vallejo, so that should be simple enough to work with. And then we're just going to apply the dark brown, come in with some masks, and then apply the dark green. So it shouldn't be all that difficult to do. Now, we have to make our own camo stencils because we don't actually have any in the kit, and the kit itself is a little bit larger than what we have in the instructions, so we can't just, photocopy and cut out shapes and all that. So we're going to have to kind of draw them out, but that's okay. A little bit of artistic license here, never hurt anybody. Do a bit of slight alterations here and there to get it looking close enough, and then we'll just stick them down and we'll hit it with the next color. We're going to use our frog tape because it's nice and thin and it's not too tacky, kind of block off everything where we don't want overspray. I'm going to start off with an application of our dark earth. We're going to overspray the different areas that will be that dark earth color, making sure to overspray a little bit past the boundaries. Then I'll come in after that is dry, I'll stick down some custom masks, and then I'll hit it with that dark green, and I think we'll be ready to rock with a nice gloss coat. So let's get on with it, guys. We have some painting to do. We're getting there. Let's keep it going. Alright, so we are back and the painting went really, really well. Didn't have too much trouble with Vallejo Air. Sometimes they can be a little bit finicky, but today they worked out just fine. So now we're going to move over to our decals. Everything is nicely gloss coated. It's dry, so we just have to start with the stencils, put those down, and then go ahead and get the main markings down as well. Shouldn't be too difficult to do. You can use my standard procedure of microsol, microset, and very warm water, and continue as normal. As you can see, the model is very glossy, so we are ready for decal application, so this shouldn't be all that difficult at all. After the decals are on, we'll seal it over with some gloss coat of Future, and then we'll come in with some AK panel liners, do a little bit of weathering. Also use a little bit of our AIM weathering powder as well for a little bit of dust coming off those exhausts. And as you can see, this is meant more for a desk ornament. I'm not going to go too crazy with the weathering. I can go ahead and put this at work, and I think it'll be pretty cool there at the office. We're going to go ahead and start off our decal journey here with stencils. We do have a separate stencil page right here, as you can see. Lots of little markings here and there, a lot of little signs and little circles and whatnot. So we're going to get all of those applied, and then we'll come in with the major rondels and all of the tactical codes, get that applied on, and then we'll be good to move on with the rest of it. So gloss coat, weathering, and all that good stuff. So far the kit is coming together, and I'm really digging Airfix. Airfix has knocked it out of the park with both Airfix kits we have built on this season. So I think we're in good hands. Let's go ahead and push on for that last time lapse, guys. Get this decaled, get it sealed, get it weathered, and then go ahead and hit it with a nice semi-flat top coat, and we'll be back and I'll show you the finished product. All right, everybody, we are back. And after about 9 hours here on the bench, we have finished off our Bolt and Paul Defiant Mark I. And I gotta tell you, that was a really, really fun model. I do have the 1/48 scale version by Airfix, and I'm very tempted to go ahead and pull that out sometime this new year and see if I can't build it up. So I'm actually very, very pleased. Let me go ahead and grab the kit here and I'll show you the finished product. And here it is. As you can see, we did go ahead and mount this on top of a stand. This stand I actually stole out of a Bandai kit, one of the T-70 X-Wings, so don't need it there. Might as well use it here. Propeller does spin, if that's important to you. Not really for me, but it's kind of fun. I did install both the pilot and the gunner, painted those up. Those are actually very nice figures. I think they really bring a little bit of life to the cockpit, so that's pretty cool. Give you a little close-up here. As you can see, I didn't go too heavy with the weathering. You can see a little bit of shading here and there from both the pre-shade and also some of the panel liners. I really like AK weathering panel liners because they just kind of tint things down just a little bit, and they add some dirt and grime, you know, from leading edge to trailing edge of the wing and along the fuselage sides. A little bit of AIM weathering powder as well to give it a tiny bit of dusting there for the exhaust. Everything else just dropped into place. I kept it pretty chip free. I don't really know much about the Defiant or how weathered these actually got, but I didn't want it to go too heavily because it's going to be sitting on my desk at work, and I like a little bit of a showpiece. I just absolutely love this base. I hit it with a gloss coat of Future, and this is almost like a mirror finish, so I'm really happy with that. I made one small hole at the bottom of the aircraft. It fits into the top of this stand, drops right into place. Let's get a little bit closer. Maybe you can see the pilot in there. They are really, really hidden. The canopies themselves are very thick framed, so they're kind of hard to get in there and actually see what we have. But we do have a pilot and we do have a gunner as well. If you notice, the guns are actually pointing forward. I watched a cool video from the era about the Bolt and Paul Defiant turret, and it showed a Defiant taxiing down the field, and the turret was in this position. So I decided just kind of go with it and see what happens. Also, that rear turtle decking in the closed position didn't really want to fit, so I went ahead and went with the elevated position, which seems just fine. So that is it, guys. I am super happy with how this has turned out. What a great little model and a perfect way to end the series. I want to go ahead and thank each and every one of you for sticking it out here as I went through all of these awesome kits. We are done with the 12 sprues for year number 4. Next year will be year 5, so I've got to do some thinking on that and see what we want to do. But for right now, we're going to go ahead and take a nice week break because I think I've earned it. We've built a lot of kits over the last month. I hope everybody had a great holiday season. I know I had a very eventful holiday season. Lots of builds, of course, as it has been for the last few years. But honestly, I wouldn't keep doing the series if it wasn't for you guys because everyone seems to really enjoy this series. So that keeps me motivated, keeps me going. Big shout out to my girlfriend for all of her hard work here, getting these kits set up in this awesome order. I think it flowed really, really well this year. Right now, we're going to take a nice, well-deserved week off. Then we'll be back with the F86. We got to finish off that build. Of course, we've got some sci-fi kits on the bench as well. And we are going to try to have some fun here in 2023. So until then, guys, you know the drill. Go out there, get yourself some bench time, have some fun, build something cool. Hopefully everyone had a wonderful holiday season, and we will see you back here next week for a brand new episode here on Ben Builds for 2023. Thanks so much, everybody. Stay safe, and we'll see you soon.